All right, boys, just finished up 6 miles. A lot of this has been trail, but the last like mile and a half have been repeats going up and down this hill. So now, wait a second. That one's gonna stink. I've been holding that in for the run, or during the run. But just getting some backward walking in up this hill. Supposed to be good for the knees. What was that? 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, 13, 14, 15, 15.5 miles for this week. I actually ran a 2-mile PR Tuesday morning. So I hit a 5-mile run on Tuesday. A little bit out of it, guys. Hit a 5-mile run on Sunday. Took a rest day Monday. Then Tuesday, I woke up at 4:30 and hit a run before work so that I could squat afterwards. And my watch told me I needed to do 2 miles at 7:10 pace. My first one was like a 7:29, and then my second mile was a 7:09. So it was like 14 minutes and some change, which is a PR 2-mile run for me. I don't know that I've ever held 2 sub 8-minute miles back to back like that, especially sub 7:30. So hit a PR this week. That's pretty exciting. And then Wednesday, went for a recovery run Wednesday and was only going to do like 1.5 miles or 2. Ended up going 2.5 because the weather was nice, had a good breeze outside, and simply just couldn't pass it up. Then I took Thursday off. I did some push-ups Thursday, and then I was gonna run yesterday, but I had to went to a football game with a buddy of mine, and I wore my Hey Dudes out there. And let me just say, being in Hey Dudes for 3 hours or so really flared up the plantar fasciitis in my left foot. So I was in a lot of pain when I got home, because I'm normally wearing these Limbs Primal Zen on a run, and then I've got some Limbs work boots, and these are the main shoes I rotate in and out between. Gonna have to ditch the Hey Dudes, man. Gonna have to order me a good pair of these to keep clean, but the Hey Dudes have wrecked me, dude. I was kind of questioning if I'd get to run today, just because my foot has been in such bad shape. But I got out here, and on a few different rocks and stuff, I've definitely felt it. But overall, I just ran 6 miles, so foot's feeling pretty good. So now I'm just getting in some backwards walking up the hills, just some preventative stuff. This is supposed to be good for the knees, some backwards walking. Been a pretty productive week. Also, something that I've been doing that really helps the plantar fascia tightness and like that pain in your foot. What I'll do, I'll throw up some pictures of it, but basically I have some socks that I cut the toes off of at one point so that my toes could be free when I ran. Toe socks work a lot better. You don't get any blisters with toe socks. But so I got some socks that I cut the toes off of, and so what I'll do with those is I just pull them up really high so the sock is like right there from here to there, and then I'll take some athletic tape and tape it around my toes and just wrap it around the back of my ankle and come back around, and it'll keep the toes pulled back and help keep the foot opened up. Because what happens is when you sleep at night, your feet are like that under the covers, and then when you get out of bed in the morning and step on it, it basically just rips that fascia back open, because it heals in a closed position. You've been walking around all day stretching it out, and then you lay in bed all night and it heals, closed up real tight, and then you get out of bed and you stretch it out, That's why it's always worse first thing in the morning. Anyways, so I've been taping my feet up like that, or my left one anyways. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I usually wake up about 2 or 3 hours later and my toes feel a little funny because, you know, they're jammed back so tight. May not be getting any circulation like that, but it helps my foot feel better, and, you know, it's not something that I do all the time. And 1 or 2 nights this week, I've just taped it up for the last 30 minutes before bed. You know, I'll tape it up and then lay in bed, set my alarms, do some shopping, watch a YouTube video, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now. So then I just unpeel the tape. And the reason for the sock, the reason why you need a sock on there is because tape, well, if you got hairy legs, pulling tape off of that is brutal. But like the last couple nights, I've only done my big toe and the toe beside it when I pull it back. So you really want your toes to be free, but you need some covering on that back of your ankle, because it's rough trying to pull that tape off. But anyways, I'll count up my miles for the week, get you guys the calories and the steps that I've taken so far, and hey, into another week. I'm thinking I might deload a little this coming week, drop back down to about 10 miles and then start stepping it back up. Overall, feeling pretty good, man. The weather's beautiful out here, starting to smell like fall. The weather's dropped into like the 70s and the 80s. Some of these leaves are starting to fall already too. I am so ready for deer season, man. Deer season is all I can think about right now. That and the 50-mile ultra. Been shooting my bow, scouting, checking cameras, putting out corn today. Just all kinds of good fun stuff. And you know, once the summertime temperatures start to drop, you know that fall is almost here. And at a few points in the woods today, in the world, look at my truck. At a few points in the woods today, I can like smell fall, man. The woods just has a certain smell, and with the cool breeze, I got a few whiffs of that today, and I am ready to be hanging out of a tree shooting a deer. So with that being said, I reckon I'm about to head home, guys. I got some pull-ups or something to do tonight, not entirely sure yet, but catch y'all next week. You put in the work, the results are gonna come. Hopping in between the back extensions and pull-ups tonight. This is just some accessory work, taking care of the lower back. Just gotta get your accessories in, man. Not even really counting. Just going for a pump with that. This is after the 6-mile run today. I'm gonna come over here, stretch out the calf for a minute. Get some water. Back on the calf stretching. I don't feel like I'm good. I'll get sit up there. Hop back on the bar. I'm coming down in weight a little bit. The last couple of weeks I've been weighing 150. I weighed myself one day earlier this week in the morning, and I was sitting at 147 because your body fluctuates, or your body weight fluctuates throughout the day. Well, I mean, 5 to 7 pounds. But in the morning it's usually pretty consistent, and I woke up at 147 this morning. So a little lighter than what I normally am. I wouldn't mind to get back up to 150. You know, I'm still 6 months out from this 50 miler, so I don't feel like I need to start losing weight this early. I've just been burning a lot of calories lately, and the appetite is starting to grow too. You know, I noticed that I'm hungry more often because I'm, you know, cutting weight. So I'm gonna start eating some more. Ooh, it's tough. All right, I gotta get in this workout, finish it. Probably gonna try to go for around 100 pull-ups. I've lost count. Currently 9 minutes in. That's all I know. So catch you guys later. All right, boys, just finished up my pull-up workout. I hit 113. I just looked at it on my phone here. Let's see, 113 pull-ups in 20 sets, and it took me, I think it was right at 29 minutes. Got a good little sweat in for this afternoon. Put in a lot of work for the lower back. Let's see. Right now, I'm at 2,771 calories burned today and 23,000 steps, almost 24,000. So by the time I go to bed, it's only 8:52 p.m. I'm gonna run in, take a shower, hopefully eat some supper, and then possibly do some stretching and read my Bible. and then hopefully go to bed pretty soon after that. But I guarantee you that by the time the clock strikes 12, I'll have 3,000 calories burned today. So we are putting in that work. This, signing up for this ultra, it's given my training, it's given me like a reason to train. This is the farthest out that I've committed to any sort of obstacle or challenge like this. And so every day that I wake up and it's a training day, I'm fired up. I'm ready to come out here and give it my all. I've got here on the watch. Let's see if you guys can see it on here. Land Between the Lakes Trail Run 50 miler, 29 weeks out. So every day I scroll through here and I look at that, and so tomorrow is going to be like 20, what am I at, 29? So tomorrow will be 28 weeks and 6 days out. And I'll look at that every single day, and I'm like, what am I doing today to put myself in a better position, 29 weeks from now? I scroll through and I look at this and see how many days out I am every day. And my watch has, programmed me a training plan. I'm not following this training plan exactly because a lot of the days, if my left foot is flared up, I can't go out and run for 35 minutes. I've got my designated rest day as Monday, and then like this week it told me to take another rest day on Thursday. But as far as the base mileage at, it'll say like 47 minutes at, an 8:55 minute per mile pace. It depends where I'm running, if I can hold that kind of pace or not. Am I, outside of running the trails on the hills, then that pace isn't really feasible for me to hold for, 45 minutes, which is going to be like a 5 to 6 mile run at that pace, something around there. So I can't follow this training plan exactly just because, it changes where I run. But as far as the speed workouts, I am gonna, start to follow some of the speed sessions, like just to kind of give you guys an example of what I'm looking at for next week. So tomorrow is base mileage, 27 minutes at 8:55 minute per mile pace. If I was on flat ground, early in the morning when it was cool, no problem. Then Monday is a rest day, and then Tuesday it has me doing a threshold workout, which is going to be, let's see here, 3 sets of 6-minute intervals. So I'm going to run for 6 minutes at a 7 minute and 10 second per mile pace. So 7-10 mile pace for 6 minutes, and then I'm going to recover for 2 minutes and then do that 3 times. So 6, 12, so 18 minutes total at a 7-10 pace. And then Wednesday is base mileage, 8:55 pace for 30 minutes. Thursday it says recovery day, 20 minutes at like 11-minute pace. And then Friday is an anaerobic workout, which is going to be, I got to run at a 6-minute pace for 40 seconds and then recover for 3 minutes and hit that 5 times. So I'm going to do 5 sets of that, and then I'm going to take a 5-minute recovery break and then redo all of that again. So that's like 10 40-second sprints, which this watch, it'll change, kind of based on my training plan. I know for yesterday, I checked earlier in the week and it was supposed to be a speed workout. And then I woke up yesterday morning and checked it and it had me at base mileage again. So, on the days that it has me doing a designated speed workout, I may start following some of those, just because I don't know really how to structure speed workouts. But as far as base mileage, especially for an ultra, I really want to hit this mainly coached by myself. That's how I've always done everything that I've ever went for. Won the high school state lifting meet, completely self-coached. Took a little bit of tapering advice from the weightlifting coach, but I worked out here at home in the garage every night. Went to the school weight room, lifted in the weight room before school with, you know, a buddy of mine and the ag teacher. Just my programming, everything was completely self-regulated. You know, I just did what I wanted to, and came in at 147 pounds and benched 255 and deadlifted 400. Squat wise, I've worked up to a 385 at a body weight of 155. You know, I've repped 315 for 15, paused 315 for 30 seconds in the whole ATG. You know, all my squats have always been ATG. I think I front squatted 300, maybe 315. I'm pretty sure that I pause repped 300 as well. So I've hit some very impressive numbers on lifting, just completely self-coached. And I'd like to do the same thing with the running. I'm very inexperienced with the ultra thing, but you know, from my point of view, I believe the biggest thing to do is cover ground, man. You know, your body's got to be ready to cover distance and, you know, get that mileage in and to climb the mountains. You know, it's a little bit different if I was, you know, trying to run a marathon by a certain time, like a sub 3 hour marathon. I would probably look for some structure in that. But as far as, you know, an endurance event, you just got to show up and make sure, you know, you're ready to go the distance. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just step up my mileage and, you know, prepare the body for everything I can throw at it. So now I'll catch you guys next week.